Give a nice welcome to Sergeant Ellingsworth. Ready?
Thanks, guys. I'm going to have you meet my partner over here. His name's Officer Gove, in case you guys don't know him. He's the DARE officer in Southampton, but he's just talking to somebody that's working right now. So I have to kind of keep my portable radio on just a little bit, just so I know what's going on, because, you know, I may have to, if there's an emergency and they need backup, I might have to go help them out, okay? And, well, that'll be a kind of a stinkeroo, but hopefully that won't work. This is Officer Gove, you guys.
Hello.
And he's gonna help me out. So I recognize how many faces from last time. Spence, I recognize Spence. And I think that's it. So we got some new faces. Good. I wish you guys were here for the last one, the fingerprinting one. It was interesting. It was really good. I think you guys would have liked that. But today we're going to talk about being an eyewitness and how it helps police, but how important it is for police to distinguish or recognize that when people see things, they don't really see the truth, believe it or not. Do you guys believe that? Mm-hmm. When you see things, I mean, we can all say, what color is this?
White.
It's white, right? We can all say that this table is brown, right. But oftentimes, what you see, your mind can trick you, and your eyes can trick you a little bit. And that's, why do you think that's important for police work? That I know this. Anybody have an idea? Just raise your hand.
Because you need to know what really happened. So if you know the truth, you can get whatever is happening out faster.
Absolutely. I'm seeking the truth, right? That's my job. I'm a police officer, and my job is to figure out the truth. But it's very hard. It's called perception. Nobody's, you know what reality is? Can somebody explain what reality is?
Life.
Reality is what really occurred. It's what a video would show. That's reality. But believe it or not, our memories don't see things like a video, and we don't remember things like a video. We're going to see things differently. And as police officers, we need to know that, because everybody sees things different. And I'm going to give you a couple examples here. And you guys tell me what you think. And a lot of your experiences in life determine what you see, believe it or not. And how you perceive it. It's your perception. It's how you see things. It's kind of like when you see something and you think it really occurred that way, somebody might see it completely different. How many of you have been in an argument with a friend? Everyone. I know I have. And how many times are your parents trying to break up, maybe even with a sibling, break up a fight between you and your sibling, and somebody's saying, no, it happened this way, and no, it happened that way. And the other person's like, no, it didn't happen that way. But you both believe you're telling the truth. Has that ever happened to you? It happens all the time. It's because you guys see things differently. Let me give you an example here. Spencer, what do you see?
2 people.
You see 2 people.
Yes.
Does anybody else see anything different?
I see like a chess piece kind of.
You see the chess piece.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys looking at the same thing?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
So you see a chess thing, and you see 2 people. Anybody else?
I see a chess thing.
You see the chess thing. What about you, buddy?
I see the chess.
You see the chess thing. But Spencer sees 2 people.
You can see it both ways if you look hard enough.
Yep. Can anybody else see it both ways? Can anybody see the chess piece or the vase? What's up, bud? You got your hand up.
You can see it?
You can see it? So here are the faces. Here are the face. When they're looking at each other. And this is that chess piece. Spencer, when you first saw it, did you recognize
Yeah.
that chess piece too? So again, we had a group of people looking at the same thing, and you witnessed it differently, correct? You both had different descriptions of this. This is kind of a difficult one. Whenever somebody sees something here, let me know what you see.
A face with a blanket or something.
Okay, is it, Okay, it's a woman. Is it an older woman or a younger woman?
Oh,
What looks like you think it would be an older woman? Yes or no? Older or younger? Older? So point out where the older woman's nose is and her mouth.
there's a nose, there's a mouth.
There's a nose and there's a mouth. Do you see anything else there?
I see a young woman.
You see a young woman too? Anybody else?
I see a little kid laying down.
Whoa, see? I don't see that. But see, there's my point. Everybody sees things differently. Can you see the younger woman here or the older woman? What do you see? The older woman or the younger woman? The older woman? You see the nose? So she's kind of, every once in a while I look at this is her eye, that's her nose, and that's her mouth. And she's got like a scarf on her head. Do you see a younger woman here? What if you looked at this and this is her chin and this is her eyelashes and that's her nose and she's looking this way? Do you see it now?
The old woman's ears, the old woman's ears are, other eyes are ears.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So what happens if I'm a police officer, and let's just use this as an example, and I say, hey, describe this for me. This is my suspect. And you say it's an old woman, and you say it's a young woman. Are either of you lying?
No.
No, that's what you see, right? And these are kind of illusions. But what's important is a lot of times what you see is based on how you're brought up and how your experiences in life. And I'll give you an example. Do you think when you see a bunch of police cars and you see an accident, let's say you're driving by and you see some Southampton police cars and you see two cars crashed and there's police officers waving traffic by. Do you think when you see police cars it's a bad accident?
Yeah.
Mostly, right? You see police cars, an ambulance, it's a bad accident. You haven't seen many accidents. Do you think I view accidents different than you guys? Because I go to them all the time. And let me give you this is a true story. This happened to me. This happened a couple years ago, no, I shouldn't say, this happened a while back. And I wasn't sensitive to someone's perception and what they saw as reality. And what happened was, there was a car crash, and it was a younger girl going to school. And it was winter, it was a wintry road, and she slid off the road, and she didn't hit anything, she didn't get hurt, she was shooken up. This is her first time she's ever driven in the winter. Is that significant to her? Is that like a major crash to her? Do you think that would make her upset? Of course it would. But I've seen very, very, very bad accidents where people really get hurt. Do you think I viewed it as a bad accident? No. I viewed it as, you're lucky, girl. Get back in that car. Let's push you on the road and let's get out of here. That's how I viewed it. But what happened was she called her mother on the phone. And her mother showed up. And her mother was walking in a fast pace towards the car, and I kind of wanted to slow her down to let her know that she's okay. And I said to her mother, I said, don't worry about it, it's mine, it's not a big deal. Do you think it was a big deal to her mother?
Yeah.
Of course it was. Was I being insensitive to that? And I didn't realize it, because her mother and that girl that crashed found this accident to be completely different than what I saw it. And it's based on our experiences. Because I've been a police officer for over 20 years now, I've seen horrible car crashes. So when I see just a fender bender, or I see a car just go off the road because it just missed a deer, or maybe even struck a deer, or it struck another car because they weren't paying attention, if nobody's really hurt, that's really minor to me. But those people that are in the car, if it's their first crash, what do you think? That's very that's significant to them. Let's see here. Describe this house to me. Somebody give me a description of this house as far as whether it's small, big, or large.
It looks like
You think it might be both? Okay.
small.
Large? Okay. We have different descriptions. Somebody said large, somebody says small. Well, if you are growing up in a small house, would this be a big house or a small house?
It'd be good.
This would be a big house. Say you grew up in just a smaller home, you had a smaller family, and it was just one floor, maybe a couple bedrooms. Would this be a big house or a small house to you?
Big.
Of course it is. What happens if you grew up in this house?
The other one was I'll say
What would be small now?
that one.
This would be small.
That would be
So
large.
does it depend on your experiences in life, on how you view things? Well, think about this. When you see a crime and you report it to the police department, I have to, as police officers, we have to distinguish. We have to separate and understand your perception of things. Because if we don't, we're not going to get the truth. So, one of the things we have to realize is we have to determine whether or not, what is an eyewitness? Tell me what an eyewitness is. Do you think an eyewitness to a crime, everyone here know what a crime is? What about you younger guys? Do you guys know what a crime is? Tell me what a crime is. Tell me what, give me an example of one.
Somebody robs a bank.
Perfect. Somebody robs a bank, right? So that is an example of a crime. Now, do you think if you saw that person that robbed the bank, the information that you saw would be important to me as a police officer if we didn't catch the person? Do you think it would be?
Yeah.
Of course it would. Now, let's say all of you saw this same crime, and we asked all of you, give me a description of who that person looked like. What do you think your descriptions would look like? Do you think they'd be the same? Yeah, you do? I would think, you would think that, right?
Depends on where you were when the crime happened. Like what? Like you only saw the back of him. He might have a hood on, but like someone in the front, they could have seen his face, so you could have seen him.
Absolutely, yep. But you're all seeing the same thing, but you all might have different descriptions. And so it's very important for us as police officers to realize that that occurs. Because, believe it or not, somebody might say that the bad guy, the robber, was wearing a gray sweatshirt and red sweatpants, but somebody else might say he's wearing jeans. Because that's happened. It happens all the time. And you know when we realized, and this might be a little too advanced for some of you younger guys, but you know when we police officers realized that eyewitnesses might not have the best information for police officers? You know how we realized it? Is you guys know what DNA is? Have you ever heard of DNA?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can somebody describe to me what they think DNA might be?
It's like the genetics that make you up.
Wow. That's good. She deserves something for that answer. Do we have a
It's in the back of the.
Do you want to grab her something? That was very good. And so everyone's DNA is different, right? And so when somebody leaves a piece of skin, blood, whatever it may be, they leave DNA behind, right? And the police, or scientists really, forensic scientists, they analyze this and they can determine exactly who it is. Almost like fingerprints. Okay? Let me answer that, Scott. So, what happens is, a lot of people went to jail based on what other people said they saw. And then, once science got a little bit more advanced and we started using DNA to identify people, guess what happened? They realized that they had the wrong person in jail. And it was all based on the fact that the police officers didn't recognize at the time, which is understandable, they didn't recognize that what people see, they never see reality. They see a little bit different. It's never the same. Okay? So we're going to have to talk a little bit about how reliable you guys are. What is reliable? What does that mean? Can somebody tell me what reliable means?
That you can trust somebody.
Perfect. That's right. That you can trust somebody. How's that going?
That was something.
Is he
else.
available?
Yeah.
Okay. On his way or no? On his way or no?
He was dealing with someone in the lobby, so.
Okay. Exactly. They're trustworthy. They're honest. So we have to make sure that when when you give us information, that information is trustworthy and honest. Now I know it's honest, but we have to realize, we have to determine whether or not it's what you actually saw. Okay? So at some point during this presentation, Scott, can you give him a call and see if he can come down? At some point during this presentation, I don't want you to get scared, but somebody's going to come in here. Okay? It's okay because it's planned. Somebody's going to come in here. They're going to run in here. They're going to do something, all right? And I want you guys, when this person comes in, to get the best look you can of him or her, whoever it might be. And then describe, then figure out, you know, see what they're doing, see what their actions are. If they say anything, now this is, I'm pre-planning this, I'm prepping you guys for this, right? I'm preparing you for this. So I want you guys to get the best look possible that you can get of this person, okay? And when that happens, afterwards, we're gonna discuss it. And what do you guys think is gonna happen? Tell me what you think is gonna happen. Anybody?
If you get what we're gonna have to tell the police you.
I'm gonna be interrogated.
Sure. We're going to ask you, we're not interrogated, but we're going to ask you questions, right? We're going to ask you questions as to what you saw. And we're going to talk to all of you guys. And we're going to ask you to look at some photos and see if you could recognize this person. Okay? So do your best to get the best view of this person. Okay? And again, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think your answers are going to be the same? You're seeing the same thing. What do you think? Are they going to be the same? Why not? They saw something else. You guys will.
They saw a different part of the body.
Could be, right? They could see this, a different part of the body. But I bet you're going to see the same thing because you guys are all kind of in the same spot. But your mind isn't going to record exactly what else everyone else records because it's going to be different, right? So we're going to work on that. So. An eyewitness, when I say an eyewitness, because that's what you guys all are here right now, you guys are eyewitnesses. What is an eyewitness? Why do we call it an eyewitness?
You witnessed what happened.
You witnessed what happened? You could, yep. But why do we say an eyewitness? Because you're actually the one seeing it, right? If you witnessed what happened and you told, what's your name? Annie. And you told Annie, is Annie an eyewitness? No, she's not because she didn't actually see it with her own eyes. So Annie, at that point, I would know she's not a reliable eyewitness. She's not a witness that I could talk to because she didn't actually see it. Her information is important to me because then Annie could say, "Oh, I got this information from what is your name?"
Anna.
Anna, and then I could go talk to Anna. And so that's what police do. If there's a crime, the first thing we want to do, what do you think is better than an eyewitness? For a crime. Let's say a bank robber, right? Let's pretend that there's a bank robbery at East Hampton Savings Bank. Are you guys all from Southampton, most of you?
Yeah.
Do you know where East Hampton Savings Bank is?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that there's a bank robbery there, right? It just happened. You guys were in the store. A man comes in and says, "Give me all your money." The clerk gives him his money, gives the money, and that person runs out. The police are called, they call 911, the police show up. What is important to us by showing? What do we want to do? The first thing we get there, what are we going to want to do? Let's start from, let's kind of break this down. You guys are my partners. You guys are all responding in your own police cars. We all show up and we say, okay, what's the first thing we should do? What do you guys want to do? What's the number one thing?
Make sure no one is hurt.
What's that?
Make sure no one is hurt.
Perfect. First thing is safety, right? We want to make sure nobody gets hurt and that everyone's okay. Second thing we want to do.
Check around to see if the person left anything.
The suspect maybe, yeah. Yep, so we're going to check it. We're going to inspect the scene. We're going to check the scene out. Right. Good. What's the next thing? Anybody else?
Ask around.
Oh, raise your hand for me, okay? That's okay. I just want to make sure I get everyone. Did you have your hand up, buddy? No? Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Ask the eyewitnesses or the people around you to see if you can get some leads on what happened.
Right. I'm going to figure out who my eyewitnesses are, and I'm going to get their names. And I'm going to get brief descriptions, but what's the next thing I want to go to? What's in that bank that sees reality?
You might see if there's like an explosion, and if he broke it in the back, there might be like a little path of money, because if he drops some money, you can follow.
I'm going to check the scene out, but what in that bank might show reality? That's it, right? Because that's really the only thing that shows reality. Because I've been to so many different disputes with people and fights, and there's times where I believe that both of the people that are telling me what's happening, both of their accounts, what occurred, I believe they're telling me the truth. There's a lot of times that happens. But their versions of it are completely different. And it's not because they're lying. Sometimes they are. But it's not because they're lying. A lot of it has to do with they're just seeing something different. Okay? So give me just 1 second. I want to figure out what's happening, and I'll be right with you. Sorry about that. It's been a busy shift. All right. So we're talking about reliability, all right? And how important it is as police officers to realize that you guys are going to see different things all the time. Nobody sees the same thing. And that's why we look for video surveillance, video cameras. Because video cameras show reality. That's really going to show us what color pants they were wearing. That's going to show us if the person had dark hair, if they said anything. That's really the only thing that tells the truth. Because our minds are different. Okay? Excuse me, sir. Can I help you? Sir, can I help you?
Southampton cops will never get me.
Excuse me, sir. Okay. What just happened there? Okay. Hold on a second. So we just had, let's pretend that was a crime. Somebody broke into this building, grabbed the lockbox, grabbed something, and left. Okay? So, do we have pencils by any chance? Do we have pencils?
Sure.
Enough pencils for
everybody?
Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys each one of these pieces of paper, and I don't want you to talk to the next person. No cheating. Okay? Because that's another thing. As police officers, we have to, when we interview people, when we talk to them about what happened, do you think we do it with two people, talking to two people at the same time that saw the same thing? We don't, because they can influence each other and change their stories. Okay? And we want their version and only their version. So moms and dads, if you could just help out with some of the answers if there might be a difficulty with the questions. Now, how many of you, you all saw what happened, right? You guys are paying attention? You guys are paying attention? Okay. Do you have any more paper? No? All right. No, I think we're all, do you have any more pencils? Or
Sure, I can.
just a few more. Sorry about that. I meant to bring some. All right. You go ahead. Start if you can. All right? So the first question, what just happened? I want you guys all to explain what just happened.
Does anyone need a pencil?
Pencil, anyone? Everybody have a pencil?
Okay, no talking to each other, right? Don't look at each other. So as police officers, you have to interview people and ask them questions. You have to ask those questions alone. You can't do it with other people in the room.
All right, get the question taken, okay. That's enough.
The next question is, okay, yeah, I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
So you guys answer all the questions. Write down the list. How you guys doing? Still working on it, right?
Yep.
Let's see how good your guys' memories are and what you see. How are you guys doing? If you're done, why don't you guys pass it to me? And we're going to go over this results. No. So now, we just interviewed all of you, right? And we asked you to write written statements, and these are your statements. So we got to figure out, we had to describe this person. Because there's no video cameras here, right? I didn't see any video cameras. Let's pretend that one's not there, right? So there's no video cameras. Nobody saw There's no real reality caught. Nobody caught the real thing. It's all about their perception, okay? So, it says, what just happened? This person says somebody came in and stole something, all right? So we're just going to say, stole something. So one person said that. Somebody else said stole something. Good job. That's 2. Somebody took something. Good. We're doing well. A man walked into the room, did not stop, and when asked, took a box and spoke and then left. Good job, whoever saw that. That's what I recall. Somebody came in and stole a box. Good. A man came in. Did he take anything? Yes, a black box. Okay. He came in and took a lockbox. Wow, nice job. That's what it was. At least that's what I saw. So this person said he stole something, but they said it was money. So we have something different, right? One person said money. And another person said they stole the box.
Are you all done, sir?
You all done, bud? All right, good job. That's being thorough. Nice job. And somebody else said that they stole a chest. Okay? Somebody said, okay, so a black box, a chest, money, a lockbox, a black box, a box. So most people here said, when I said stole something, 8 of you said it was a box of some sort. One person said money, and one person said a chest. This is interesting, why someone would say money. Right? We'll get back to that one. So let's describe this person. Oh, did he say something? Somebody says, he said the Southampton cops will never catch me. So, we'll just say, please never get me. All right? So one person said that. This other person said the police department. He just said the police department. So something else. Police will never catch me. Another one. Somebody wasn't quite sure. Did the person say anything? Somebody said no. Interesting. You guys saw the same thing, right? Were you guys all in the same room? Okay, because we're having there's a difference in answers here, right? Not that bad, though. I've seen a lot worse. You guys are sharp. Somebody said nothing. They didn't say anything. The police will never stop me, so we have another one. The police will never catch me, good. And that you won't catch me, that's another one. There's 5 there. Never catch me, and never catch me. All right, so we have 2 more. So we have what the person said, the police will never get me, or something along those lines. One person said the person said police department. And then one person said that this person never said anything at all. So when we talk to these people, do you think that as I interview all of you, that I have to understand that you guys won't see the same thing? Because if I didn't, wouldn't I think that all you guys saw something completely different? Do you think so? Especially if somebody said, the man never saw anything. The man never said anything. I don't know what those other people are saying. He never said a word. So I have to, as a police officer, have to realize that just because this person said he never said anything doesn't mean that he didn't. Because I have a lot more people that said he did. But even if it was just one person that said he said something, it's possible he did. So let's go about his description. We have hair color, blonde. We'll go eyes. Somebody said not sure. Color shirt, blue. Are there different types of blue? Do you think as a police officer it's important to me to figure out what kind of blue it is? Right. So, color pants. Somebody put beige. That was you? Hopefully I'm spelling that right. And there were shorts. And that he was wearing Reebok shoes. All right? I'm not quite sure if that's, I haven't worn Reebok since I was a lot younger, so I don't know if that's how you spell that or not. Is the person wearing a hat? No. Somebody said blonde hair. We got another blonde. What color were the person's eyes? They don't know. So 2 people said unknown. Shirt, blue. We got another blue. Shorts. We got another shorts. Color shoes, they're not sure. Is the person wearing a hat? No, another no. Color hair. We have a brown. Another beige shorts. And they were shorts. And they were wearing sneakers. And somebody said the sneakers were black, green, and white. That's pretty descriptive, if you ask me.
I did that.
Good job. And was he wearing a hat? No. Hair color, another brown. The shirt, blue or black. Color of pants, khaki, so we'll go with another beige. And there were shorts. He had running shoes, good. Sorry, this is kind of running shoes. And that they were gray. Big difference between gray and black, green, and white, right? But we saw the same person. So how can that be? How can we see the same thing but have completely different description of the sneakers? They might not have seen all the colors. Maybe they're focused on something else. That's what their brain thought they saw, right? Are you lying? If their shoes were actually black, green, and white, and who said gray? Do you know how you said gray?
Yeah.
Were you lying to me? Were you lying to the police?
No.
Are you sure? Because that's a crime. Were you lying to the police?
No.
I have to recognize that though, right? Of course. They might have been gray though.
First colorblind.
That's true. Hopefully they let me know that.
I'm not colorblind.
Somebody said blonde. Eyes were brown. Wow, you got a good enough look to see their eyes, whoever that was. Good job. Shorts were tan. And they were wearing sneakers. Shoes were blue. So now we have a different color of the shoe. Hair color, tan. We'll go with brown. How's that? The person's eyes, they were blue. Wow. So we have different color eyes now. We're looking at blue eyes. The color of the shirt was green. So we have 3 different colors of the shirt. And the color of the pants, they were shorts, but they were green with white stripes. Interesting. So now we have green with white stripes. All right. You know, this, I might as well be looking for Bigfoot because you guys are seeing so many different things here. I don't know if I can identify this person. So now we have all this difference. So after I get all this information, right, I have to figure out what is correct and what isn't. So what description am I going to use when I call over to the other officers that are responding to help look for this guy? I'm going to say 25 to dispatch in all units. That's my code. Be advised, the person wearing Reebok sneakers, possibly black, green, or white, maybe gray or blue. His shirt is blue, possibly black or green. His shorts are definitely, it's not like they're beige. His hair is blonde or brown. Or his shorts also could be a green with white stripes. So let me know if you see this person. Do you think they're going to find him?
Yeah.
No. So let's see here. Color of the shirt, another different color of the shirt. We have gray. Color eyes, blue. Color of the shirt, yellow. But we all saw the same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Color of the hair. Color of the hair. It looks like black. Did somebody say black by any chance? Black? Okay. So now we have a completely different hair color. Sometimes blonde and brown, depending on the you know, how dark it is, could look similar, but now we have black. Totally different. Hair, light brown. So we have another brown. Khaki shorts. Color of the shirt, dark blue, maybe black. Good job. Shoes were Asics. All right? So they weren't Reeboks, they were Asics. And they were blue. Hair color, another black. Interesting. Person's eyes were reddish. So now we had 3 different colors of hair. Their shirt was blue. Their pants were black. That's the first different color of pant. And that they were wearing Adidas sneakers. So now we have a different type of sneaker. And pants, again, were beige or khaki. Shirt, blue. And that they were wearing shorts, good. And they weren't wearing a hat. All right. So now, as a police officer, what do you think's happening here? What's going on? We all saw the same thing, but you guys gave us completely different stories, different accounts, right? Because you guys perceived it differently. You're not lying to the police. Definitely not lying. I know that. But I have to realize that what happens if it just so happens that somebody's walking down the street and he happens to have Reeboks on. Do you think I might want to stop him and talk to him? Right? Because he could be the suspect. If, let's say he has Reeboks and beige pants. Maybe even a little bit closer. I might want to talk to him. But do you think I'm going to want to put this person in jail based on the fact that he's wearing Reeboks, happen to be around the bank, and he's got beige pants on? Just because you guys said it? No, of course I wouldn't, because look at all the different accounts I have.
Unless you saw like the same exact match that.
But how do I see the match? There's no match here. Nobody saw the same thing. Spence?
Well, if you did see a person and you look behind him and you saw you, and he started running away, you could suspect that might be the suspect.
Absolutely. Yep. And I would definitely, pursue him and try to talk to him. Sure.
I saw a gun.
You saw a gun on him? All right. Good to know. I didn't ask that. That would be important to ask, don't you think? For my safety. That's bad police work because I didn't ask that. All right. So now, let's see what really happened. All right? Because we recorded that. So let's take a look at what this person really looks like. Sorry about that. It's been a busy shift. All right. So we're talking about reliability. All right? And how important it is as police officers to realize that you guys are going to see different things all the time. Nobody sees the same thing. And that's why we look for video surveillance, video cameras. Because video cameras show reality. That's really going to show us what color pants they were wearing. It's going to show us if the person had dark hair, if they said anything. That's really the only thing that tells the truth, because our minds are different. Okay? Excuse me, sir, can I help you? Sir, can I help you?
Southampton cops will never get me.
Excuse me, sir. Okay. All right, so he actually came in kind of slow, right? You think he was really trying to steal something, he'd run in, grab that, and run out of here, right? It'd be even harder for you to remember what he was seeing, what you saw.
We didn't get to see the shoes.
Yep, you're right. But you know what? He had on, and I know this because I checked him out before he left, he had on blue Asics. So somebody got Asics. Who said that? Nice job. Are you a shoe? Do you like shoes? Do you have? No, look at your shoes. You're wearing boots. You must like shoes. That's the first thing you look at. Is people's shoes. Let's see how we can. All right. So let's see the description of this person again. Sorry about that. Anything that's really it tells the truth. Because our minds are different. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Okay. Let's see. So it's hard to tell in this, but what color do you think he's wearing for a shirt? He's wearing black? And that's why it's important to me to ask what color shirt and get into detail. As a police officer, it's important to get those fine details from you. And I did it with those forms. But his shirt in certain colors, in a darker room would look black. It's actually a navy blue like this, okay? But his shirt is black. What color hair does he have?
Brown, light brown. Yeah.
I think anybody that says anywhere between blonde and brown is pretty good. Does he have black hair?
I said light
No.
brown.
Somebody said brown or light brown. Yep, that's a pretty good description. But does he have black hair?
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So, but again, that person that said that he had black hair saw the same thing that we did, but his mind didn't pick it up the same way. His perception changed that. And what's shorts? He's wearing shorts, not pants. And he's got what, khaki, right? Beige pants. So we had a description of, for pants we had black, I think, at one point. Or no, that was hair. No, that was black pants too, because there's black hair. Black pants. Almost everyone said shorts. Again, some people said it was green shirt, yellow shirt. And the sneakers, I could tell you, were blue Asics because I checked. But they definitely weren't black, green, or white, right? So completely, this is why it's so important as police officers, because what happens if I decided that this one person, say I didn't interview, only one person witnessed this, right? And it was, let's just say it happened to be the person that said he had black hair, right? And that was my only witness. What did you see? What color was his hair? And the response was, oh, his hair was black. And his eyes were reddish. His eyes are actually blue, correct? They're blue. Even we don't know. And we know him. He's actually a police officer for Southampton. That's why he had the gun. His shirt was blue. His pants were black. And that he had Adidas sneakers. So that was and there was no surveillance. So this is our only description of this person. And let's just say what occurs here is that we use that information to arrest somebody. All right? So now, having this in mind, I got one more exercise. Okay? I want you guys, what happens is, now you guys saw the crime. I'm going to ask you, if you saw this person again, would you be able to point them out to me?
Yeah.
You think so? All right. So, let's see how good you are. There's two different ways that police, they're called photo lineups. Okay? And what I have here is a photo lineup. And I have two different types. There's a photo lineup that has simultaneous, this is called a simultaneous photo lineup. And let me tell you something. These pictures don't necessarily mean that these are bad guys, okay? We have access to a lot of pictures based on the fact that anyone has a driver's license, okay? So if you see anyone here, doesn't mean they're a bad guy, all right? It just happens to be that I found their photo kind of similar to what they look like. So there's different types of, this photo array right here is called a simultaneous photo array. We're not allowed to use these photo arrays anymore, okay? And the reason is a lot of times now, if I gave you this photo array, Spencer, and I said, hey, is a person in there? Do you think that the person in this photo, in this array is in that photo? Do you think, based on that I'm a police officer and I'm telling you that, do you think that he's definitely there? Would you think he is if I'm giving you this? No. What happens is, a lot of people think, because I'm showing them an array. I'm going to hand this all to you, okay? Each one of you are going to get one of these. And because I'm showing you these photos, a lot of people are under the opinion that the person is definitely in the photo array. Okay? So no talking. No talking. I want you guys to circle the person you think is our bad guy. Okay?
For the record, his eyes are green.
They're green? Okay, that's okay. You just tell me.
I don't think I would.
All right, so what I want you to do is just write down there, nobody, okay? Everyone got a form? So look at this photo array, and you guys circle if you think he's in there. Now again, we as police officers are no longer allowed to use this type of photo array. And there's a reason for that. They found that these photo arrays are not reliable photo arrays. And the reason is, and this is how we develop these photo arrays. You guys give us a description of who he is. We find out who the suspect is. And then what we do is we put that suspect in an array of photos, and we give you the photo array, and we ask you to point out if you think he's in the photo and which one he is. All right? But what happens is with this photo array is a lot of people think that because the police officers are giving them an array of photos, that the person's photo is definitely in here. And so what happens is there's something called relative judgment. And the witness, the eyewitness, will try to figure out by looking at all 8 people, they'll try to figure out which one has the most similar characteristics to what their memory saw, or what they have in their memory. And then they're just going to say, okay, well, all right, he definitely kind of had those eyes, but he didn't have those lips, so it can't be that guy. Well, he had those eyes, he had that nose, but he was a little skinnier. He had those lips, he had those eyes, and he had those ears. Well, I'll tell you what, out of all these ones, that's the guy that looks the most like him, so guess what? They're going to tell us that this is the suspect. And they're saying relative judgment. That's called relative judgment. They're making a judgment based on the relative characteristics of everybody. So, hand those over to me. And a lot of people have gone to jail based on these photo arrays, just like this. And guess what happened? A lot of people were found out through DNA that they weren't the people that should have been to jail. So, somebody circled number 6. So let me shut this off. Yep. So we have 6, 6, 6, 6, nobody, 6, nice job, and 6. You guys did a good job. So we have, let's see, 6 sixes and 1 nobody. Okay. So now, no cheating. Although this might not work because I just showed you these photos. But the next type of photo array, and this is the photo array now that we're allowed to use as police officers. Because they can't make relative judgment. They can't look at all the photos at the same time and decide which one looks the most like the bad guy. So what we do now is we have to show these photos one at a time. All right? So, take your papers back, any paper, and I want you guys, I'm going to show you these photos. I'm going to go through them twice, and that's all I can do. It's about 2 times I can cycle through them. Because if you don't know right away, do you think it's going to be really reliable if you have to look at it 5 times? I'm going to say, oh, I don't know if I want to arrest this guy, because my witness might not be that reliable. Because she had to look at the photos 5 times to determine whether or not it was the bad guy or not. Let's see. Just pass those up, okay? And anybody else? Just want to try? Were you guys doing it or no? Okay. So what I want you to do is there's no talking. And you can't look at each other's pieces. Turn those over so you can't see the faces. Okay, turn them over. You can't see the faces? All right. What I'm going to say is, and this is how I do it. So we basically, what happens is we go to a crime scene. I get all the information from my witnesses. I develop a profile of what the person kind of looks like. At some point in my investigation, I suspect it might be somebody, maybe some other information I received. And then I go to the eyewitnesses and I ask them if they recognize the person in a photo. And if they say they would, they say they might be able to, I'm then going to show them the photos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one at a time, just like this. And I'm going to say, before I even do this, I have to give them instructions. Instructions such as, you know, that the person might not be in here. He might not be in here. And that if we don't figure out if he's not in here and you don't decide that somebody's in here, that we're going to continue to investigate. Those are certain instructions so you know that we're still going to follow up on this case. So you don't feel forced to give an answer. That's important, that you never feel forced to give us an answer. So do you recognize this person?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So what I'm going to do is I don't want you guys to respond verbally to me. I want you guys just to write down the number of the person you think it is, okay?
Wait, I'm back.
On the back of your form. Yep. Don't say anything. Do you recognize this person?
No.
I said don't say anything. Do you recognize this person? 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 And then, do you recognize this person? Okay. So, let me see those forms. How many people answered? Well, let's see here. We have probably the same ones, right? 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. It's all 6, just like on our... You guys have good memories. Good job. Good. All 6s. So then my next question is, I'm going to ask you, how certain are you that you recognize this person? And it's important that you tell me the truth, because if you say, I'm absolutely 100% sure, or, well, it looks like him. Is there a difference? I might not want to arrest the person that you say, well, it kind of looks like that person. I'm not going to arrest him. But if somebody says, I know it's him, I recognize it, I'm 100% sure, I'm positive. Even though you're positive, it still might be wrong, but it's at least enough information for us to follow up on and pursue it. Okay? So that's how eyewitness evidence works. But what I wanted to demonstrate today was how important it is to understand that nobody sees the same thing. You guys all saw We all saw something that occurred here, but none of us saw exactly the same thing. It's because our minds see things differently, and a lot of it has to do with what you saw, the position that you were in, and also your experiences in life. Remember, what you see as a bad accident, I probably wouldn't see as a bad accident. Even though you would describe it as, oh my God, it was horrible. There's police officers all over the place. This is another thing. This is perception at its best, and how perception is tricky. Somebody put up here what he took. Remember that? Most of you said a box. Somebody said a chest. Box and a chest, pretty close. Somebody said money. Right? Did they perceive that there was money in that box? Because it was a locked box, right? That's what happened, but they didn't see it. But that's what they reported. Nobody saw money. There definitely wasn't money. This is what was taken. So there was definitely no money. But in your mind, you believed there's money to be in this because people usually put money in lock boxes. So you told me, yeah, he took money. But he definitely didn't take money because there's no money in here. So that's why it's so important as police officers to realize that everyone sees things differently. All right? Any questions? You guys were a good audience today. All good? Oh, what do you got, bud?
What if there's like a humongous robbery?
Humongous as in, like, give me a description.
Like if it was in like, what if there's a robbery at one place in Southampton, then another robbery at another place?
Yeah?
And there's too much robberies that you couldn't have all the police handle it.
Go to all at once? We'd have to show up a little bit late, and it'd be harder maybe to solve. Right? That could happen.
And I can tell you that on one night I was working, I had 3 house breaks come in at the same time. And so we had to have different agencies come and secure the house until we could get there, so we could clear each house. So it's happened.
Do you know what a house break is? That's when somebody comes to your home when you're not home, and they want to maybe take something out of your house, so they find a way to get in, they take something and leave. That's a house break. So again, that's similar to the robbery, but that happened, a couple years ago where all at the same time there was 3 house breaks, and there was only a few officers that were working that night, and they couldn't go to all of them. So they had to, we had to ask other police departments to help us. All right? All right, you guys are good audiences, good witnesses, I'll tell you that much. So let's, we have a couple things, Scott, you want to hand out to them?
Yeah.
And then we're all set. We have enough water bottles for all the kids?
Thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. Oh, you get things.
Yeah, well, you guys were good audiences. You guys were a good audience, good witnesses. I would interview you guys anytime. You're reliable, all of you.